Robot.
1. In today's episode of Border Talks Podcast, we are starting the series of where Ivan and I will be discussing various different topics and be debating them side by side. We have our moderators, everyone is in the chat. It's going to be a good day and everyone can be seen. So, without further ado, let us start it.
Let me just explain how it's gonna work. So our moderators, Pancho and Romo, are gonna give us a topic, and then they're gonna give us the side of which we're gonna debate, and then we'll try to go with the flow. But we said 2 minutes each. If the topic, if we agree or something, I don't know what happens. We have an extra topic just in case. We're gonna go. It's gonna be 10 minutes each for 2 minutes. So it's gonna be. I'm gonna go for 2 minutes. I can take the whole time or cut it, but not over it. So I say Agustin goes first, 2 minutes, then it's my turn. So we're gonna go back to back like that. Basically, that's how it's gonna work.
Basically, you go with some sort of order, You're trying to make it work. And whatever happens.
Yeah. So right now, our moderators are gonna basically take over. So go ahead, guys.
Yep. All right. Let us introduce the mods to be able to do the topic. Romo, you start.
Let me hand it off to Pancho. He has the topic.
yeah. Just let him go, Agustin. You don't have to introduce. Just let him go.
The topic for today is going to be what's better, being Insta famous or Twitter famous.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys got that?
You got it?
Yeah.
All right. Can I get a drum roll, please, for the sides?
Sure.
Wait. Give me a second.
Oh, you're gonna put it in? Damn, the budget has really increased.
Yeah, bro. No, that was 10 of the 15 cents, bro.
Of the 40 cents that's coming up.
This isn't royalty free, bro.
It's okay.
Hey, you guys can go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just writing.
Okay. The number one pick on Twitter, we have Agustin.
Let's fucking go.
Ivan has Instagram famous, and Agustin is Twitter famous.
Of course.
This was I just thought about it. I didn't think about it prior to this. So, good luck, guys, and have fun.
Let me just explain. We're gonna take 5 minutes for each of us to for research and do a little if we want to write it down or anything. So we'll be back. There's just gonna be a jump cut, but we'll be back right now. All right.
All right, welcome back. Cool. I guess so. So 5 minutes have now passed for our two contestants to do a little bit of research. Nothing intensive. So I guess we're ready to kick it off, right, Pancho?
Yep. Again, everybody's gonna get 2 minutes. Who do you want to start with, Romo?
Who wants to start first? Who's the brave one?
You guys decide. I don't mind.
I want to go, Ivan. Yeah, let's go.
Ivan, we'll go in first. Right. Pancho will have a timer ready for him, and let's see how things turns out.
Tell me when to go. Tell me when to go.
And your time starts now.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for coming here and being our moderators for today. You guys look lovely today. I like your hat, Pancho. Great hat. Romo. Very nice hat too. And the debate for today is Instagram famous versus Twitter famous, right? Which one's better? Okay. So right off the bat, I'm gonna start with some statistics right off the bat. So, okay, listen up. Give me a second. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm gonna start with statistics, right? So Twitter has around 145 million daily active users, right? That people use it every day, right? And Instagram has about 500 million. So that's a little bit over a little bit over double how many active daily users there are. If you want to fact check that, go ahead. But right off the bat, Instagram is more well known, right? People use it more daily. Well, people like it, I guess. It's just more well known, right? And so right off the bat, Instagram's bigger. So if you're being Instagram famous, you're gonna be well known. Like people are gonna know who you are, just right off the bat because of the numbers. Most people use it. Also Twitter and Instagram. The average user is from 18 to 29, so they're about the same age. So they're reaching the same audience, just at higher numbers through Instagram. Let me just look. So being that Instagram has more people, right? It has, how many did I say?
10 seconds on the clock.
All right, I'm gonna save it for the next part. But that's it for me right now.
All right,
Just talking about
time's up.
numbers and statistics.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moreno,
Mhm.
That was
sharing
very
that
good.
with
No
us.
problem.
That was very good.
That was a cheap shot, Austin. What?
Of
That
course.
was
Yeah, I
Alright.
was just starting off with numbers, you know.
no.
Going straight to
Actually, pretty dope. Actually, but
All right. So I guess
that's
now
neither here nor there. All right,
we're moving on to Mr. Contreras over here.
all right. Now go show them what you got, dog.
So
All right, you're
first of all, I want to be
Pancho
grateful.
has to start it.
Oh,
no. You're good. I kind
first
of
of all,
pointed.
I just want to say that I'm grateful for here.
Did you start it, Pancho?
It's such a good honor to be able to.
You on strike one?
So to be able to start off is, yeah, my opponent has said that Instagram has a bigger user base, which I do agree. Twitter, as of right now, has around 171 million
Facts.
active users, as portrayed on Forbes' website. So technically speaking, there is a smaller group of people. But there's a thing that makes Twitter a little bit more relevant, is that it's a lot more fast paced. For me, the news is always being shouted, sources are always being said, and there's always things that are constantly being published. When it compared to Instagram, Instagram is more personal. So in retrospect, it's very good for engaging in a small local group, because Instagram happens to branch off from Facebook, which typically focuses on family and more of a more oriented life. I tend to think that's not as good because it promotes a more unauthentic lifestyle. It promotes more of like a fake life that people tend to portray. It does get engagement, but it makes people put themselves in a view that's not really realistic in a lot of things. Twitter famous is more realistic because you get to post your thoughts. You're limited by 280 characters, and you only have to put small, concise thoughts that get often seen by millions and millions of users. There's more engagement, there's more topics, left or right, different types of subjects being traded every day. In Instagram, it's always about perfectionism and a sense of narcissism that promotes a more toxic lifestyle. Twitter tends to be just mostly text, and people read and interact with each other. Typically speaking, it also depends that more people on Twitter are college
10
educated.
seconds.
People on Instagram tend to be high school and younger age, which in the real world often accounts for mostly
Time's up.
not very relevant content.
Time's up. Time's up. Time's up. Time's up. There you go. You're going in pretty strong, to be honest. Some good thoughts.
Indeed.
I think.
Should we let
Your
them fight now,
thoughts,
Pancho?
moderators.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Hmm.
if you want
Hey,
to,
can I argue back?
If you wanna-
I was about to say, Ivan, is there anything you would like to
Like
question
rebuttal.
Agustin about? Yeah, or
Yes, I do actually. I got a couple points here.
Go ahead.
Do I get 2 minutes?
Yeah, you get 2 minutes.
Minutes?
as much
Yeah,
as-
Tell
and
me when it starts.
you can start now.
So we were talking about Instagram famous and Twitter famous, right?
Mhm.
I was seen for some reason just was saying that it's more fast paced. Twitter, I don't know why. So that means people overlook stuff, right? So people are gonna go there for news and stuff, not really for people that are famous, right? That's what basically Agustin just told me. Like that makes me think like people go like look at a tweet, just be like, oh, that's funny, and not even look at the person that wrote it. Personally, when I see a funny tweet, I don't even care who wrote it. I just I just think it's funny and whatever, and just skim through it.
Yeah,
I don't even look
Just
at the
straight to
API,
point.
right?
The point,
Exactly. So
And no interruptions.
the point of
No
Twitter is to
interruptions.
share
Flag on
whatever.
the play. Flag on the play. No interruptions. Ivan.
that's where I go again, right? So he's saying it's faster interactions, right? So if you're trying to build fame, I don't think that's good at the end because people are just overlooking your stuff, right? You see a funny tweet, you or Romo, you guys follow the person, like look into it. Probably not, right? But when you see someone on Instagram and they have a cool picture and you're like, oh, she's hot, or oh, that dude's cool or whatever, you might go into their profile and be like, oh, damn, that's cool. He's a rapper or this stuff. So he gets more traction, right? And also Augustine saying it's not more genuine. That's probably true. People portray more fake lifestyles, but that's because they're trying to grow a brand, right? They're trying to like portray someone that they're not. Doesn't matter. We're not talking about if it's genuine or not. That has relevancy here, right? Also, the most followed person on Twitter is Barack Obama, which is the president. Is a person that a lot of people know, right? He has 125 million followers, the 44th president of the United States, right? And the most famous person on Instagram is, maybe you guys know, it's Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo. He plays football, so like they're completely opposite of like the spectrum, like.
Thought it was Kylie Jenner.
You can finish it off, if you want.
Yeah.
Let's finish it off.
They would go to round.
I was just gonna say it's not Kylie Jenner. I was saying, well, at least not from the article I'm looking. As in November 29, actually. 243, and Kylie Jenner has 201. But I'm just saying that I was gonna go that Twitter. It's a little bit more political, right? Because people are trying to get out their ideas. So I don't think like Twitter fame. I think Instagram fame is closer to being like a celebrity, right? And Twitter fame is more, I guess, you can be a one-hit wonder. Like you can have a good tweet and that's it, you know? Like you get overlooked. That's it.
All right, Agustin, you're gonna get 2 minutes to rebuttal. Same treatment. Ivan can interrupt, and your time starts now.
Well, that's true what you said, that there's more relevant and more, I guess, pretty face people on Instagram. But that's the point. It's a picture-based app where you just share images of one's lifestyle and just hopefully you get some engagement. I tend to think that, that's pretty much comes to the point of what I said, that it promotes like a toxic lifestyle because it gives people an impression of a life that doesn't really seem as authentic as it should. Yeah, and that's just the general rule with most social media. Twitter tends to be polarizing as well. You find discussion everywhere. It's very decisive, very heated. But the beauty of Twitter is you could share anything you want, and there isn't very much critiqueness to it. You are free to share anything, and you can do polls, you can do any sorts of interactiveness with your users, and you even get to have more engagement with your audience. Typically enough on Instagram, people don't really see your post unless you tag them in it, which is kind of just forcing the engagement rather than letting it just become more authentic and just grow out. It's also more closed down because it's really hard to share your Instagram content on other platforms. So if you're dedicated to Instagram, you're pretty much handicapping yourself. While in Twitter, you can link it to almost any other platform and you will still have just as much as conversion as anything else. So that fame can help you grow into other sites more effectively. But trying to grow your brand outside of Instagram is often difficult. It's the same reason why people struggle to grow brands outside of Instagram, because the user base doesn't actually transition as effectively as if it was from Twitter to other platforms. And also, you can pin tweets, which often have your most relevant stuff posted to the top and it doesn't get lost in the pictures. You can't do that with Instagram. People will often just repost old posts. And so for that, it's not as effective to be Instagram famous.
Time's up. All right, Ivan, you got any rebuttal?
Yes, I do actually.
Okay.
If I could say something,
Yeah.
let's not let's not do the 2 minutes. Let's let him talk a little bit so they can go back and forth. If they have.
Capella? Okay. Do you want to let interruptions go, or
If
give us 2 minutes. Give us 2 minutes to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Just give us 2
That's
minutes. I'll make some counter arguments if Agustin wants to defend himself. He goes ahead. Like,
all right?
There's not gonna be. He can interrupt or whatever.
Sounds good.
For it.
All right, man.
All right.
Yep.
All right, we got to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
All right. So Agustin was saying that Instagram is, you can't make as much profit, but I noticed that Instagram has had ads way longer than Twitter. Twitter's getting ads like pretty recently, so that means there's been more marketing on Instagram, right? That means people are getting paid more through endorsements, through sponsorships, whatever, right? And I don't really see that on Twitter, especially because when you're on Twitter, you see a tweet that has an ad. Usually, you skip over it because it's some bullshit and stuff. I feel like on Instagram, they try to incorporate it a little bit more with their content, right? Like if they're gonna be sponsored, they try to get it. Like if it's a model, she tries to get an underwear sponsor, right? On Twitter, people are just getting sponsorships for whatever they try to get, right? Because just it's a little bit harder to like profit something, like market something through Twitter because it's mostly text, right? So it's saying like you basically have to take my word like, oh, this product's good, right? On Instagram, you can show a little video like, oh, this is how this product
You could
works,
also
right?
show video on Twitter. Just saying.
That's also a newer thing, right? It's not as old as Instagram. So I just think Instagram has a step ahead right now. Just because it's older and like more companies like to invest on Instagram.
Twitter was started before Instagram.
Yes, but I mean in the market, how marketable it is, right?
Yeah,
Like
more,
companies throw more money on Instagram just because I guess it's more pleasing for the eyes to see the actual product than just take it by word of mouth, right? When I try to get something, buy something, I try to look at a video, not just go by word of mouth. So I just think being Instagram famous can bring you more money, and that it's a pro, right? From Twitter. I feel like Twitter you can't make as much money. So,
All right.
pretty much it.
Twitter tends to be more of engagement above everything else. Instagram tends to be as engageful, but typically the user base gets forced into features. Like it's very rare to hear people say they enjoy Instagram Reels. They very rarely enjoy.
So you're saying Twitter is not
stories.
forcing the stories they just did like everyone else. Like first it was Facebook, and Facebook owns Instagram, so it makes sense that they added stories to Instagram, and now Twitter is doing it. So I don't know what's your argument there.
Instagram stole it from Snapchat, so none of the platforms outside
Twitter,
of there are authentic. But Twitter tends to adopt features less often than Instagram.
Instagram just adopted it too. You can say that. You can use that word too.
Instagram adopted features and forces it on its users, and oftentimes it confuses the user base for a temporary period. Twitter hasn't changed since the early 2000s and has remained consistently the same UI that familiarizes with people. It's the same platform. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The lack of
how does that help being famous on Instagram or Twitter?
It helps being famous because it allows the content creator to familiarize themselves with the platform. If it's constantly changing, they struggle to adapt to the new system. They have to adjust. They have to redo content.
You know what humans are really good at? What humans are really good at, Agustin? Adapting. You know that, right?
We're talking about platforms, not humans. Platforms are changing.
Oh, so the platforms adapt? You said the creator.
The user base doesn't have to adapt as fast as the platform can change. So when you start to say that, Twitter tends to be more oriented to a user because they're familiar with it. It hasn't changed. It's been the same 280 characters since the very beginning and has kept it for the same reasons for the last 15 years of its relevancy.
So let me ask a question, Francisco, Ancho.
It has a slower.
How confused are you? How confused are you at using Instagram?
Never been confused, dog.
Have you been confused? Oh, have you been confused?
Maybe at the beginning, just because I didn't really care about Instagram or like any other platform like that. But I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Once you get it right, like any changes they do, it's pretty easy to adapt, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, that's my argument. I think it's not a good argument saying that users don't adapt. I think users adapt pretty quick.
No, I say users will adapt, but when it comes to the platforms, they tend to change faster than the users would want to. I mean,
which platform? Instagram changes faster than what people want.
Instagram also tends to do into more controversial posts, tends to promote more fake news, tends to promote more tens of content that doesn't necessarily give accurate statements. That's under the scrutiny of being under Facebook. Twitter tends to fall in the same way. I would say Twitter has been more factually more corrective than Instagram ever has been. I very rarely see Instagram flagging content that isn't appropriate.
Twitter is a little bit more controversial.
Instagram tends to put it more out there and just go for the likes. Twitter tends to actually review cases. They actually tend to see the content and see it. Everyone has an equal say, but everyone also needs to make sure that they maintain some level of their discretion policy. Versus Instagram, they just do it for the literal engagement, which and oftentimes isn't the best. Instagram has also had bigger issues with fake user base. So that number that you had said about the user base often gets changed a lot because they often have to delete more fake users, which is more common in Instagram than in Twitter, as portrayed by
Is
Forbes.
that a fact?
Yes.
How many more users are deleted from Instagram than Twitter?
As of 2019, Twitter deleted around 12 million fake accounts created, and Instagram deleted around 44 million.
So let me
There
make
was
a
an
point right here. You at the beginning of the debate, you said that people go to Twitter for political things. Meaning there's bound to be more fake news right there if that's what you're trying to argue and fake stuff. Just because it's so rapid and once people see the tweet, like okay, maybe that's real, and they don't look into it too much, right? And
Yeah.
on Twitter, on Instagram, you usually don't go for anything political there. Maybe like a little bit of news if you follow any new news pages, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's more fake stuff on Twitter. If you're trying to like say Instagram, I don't know, it has more fake news and stuff.
I say you're saying it because of a user's engagement to it, which often results in a user being more engageful of the content they're seeing. On Instagram, a post gets lost in the comments because after you see like the first three comments, you kind of don't even scroll down to see the rest because it's often spam or unrelevant information than the actual post. On Twitter, you don't typically see people spamming. You see people actually engageful back and forth between ideas. Whether the ideas are appropriate or not, you still see real-time engagement among users through one big tweet. It's a bigger discussion because oftentimes in Instagram, it's just lost in the big comments. Similar to,
So
the structure in, what is it? I can't even remember, Reddit's, where
let me just make one last argument because I think we're just going on tangents that really don't matter between Instagram famous and Twitter famous. My last big argument is that if you're gonna be Instagram famous, you're gonna be more well known, right? And you're gonna get more money. So with fame comes popularity and money. That if that's what you want, I think Instagram's the way to go. That's it. I just think Instagram's better for being famous, basically, because you get more money.
Can I ask a questions to each?
Yeah. So if you guys want to ask questions, go ahead. It's the time right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask a
Questions.
question to Ivan. So your side is basically arguing that Instagram helps you become, and that being Instagram famous is better, right? How do you feel about Instagram trying to censor likes on photos and videos of not showing them?
So I'm not too well informed how that works. I don't know if you have to turn it off yourself or it does it by itself. But there's a lot of bullying online. That was one of the big things why they did that. And I mean, if you can't handle it and you turn off the likes and stuff, you're not gonna be able to be famous, right? Because if you're famous, people are gonna critique you no matter what. No matter if you're perfect and you're famous, you're gonna get critiqued. You can be the most perfect human, and people are still gonna say shit about you. So, like, if you're turning off comments, I don't know if you do it yourself. I don't know if you know Agustin, if you do it yourself or the app does it itself, or I don't know how it works.
From what I've heard, is Instagram does it proportional to the specific user. So
Specific users.
depends on how big their user base is and what has been recently flagged in their profile. So the user doesn't
Okay.
have very good control. People like David Dobrik have talked about it in their perspectives that they think it's ridiculous that Instagram just chooses like kind of who to cater to because it kind of disembodies user base because now people can't negotiate their pay rates because most of these social media websites go by CPM, which is how many views you get per post. So if I get 1,000 likes, it's a certain amount of money that I can negotiate with like an ad. And if that person can't see my likes, then I can't really tell them. It gives me more discretion, but it doesn't give me more credibility. It's the same
All
Okay.
right.
on Twitter. People can just see your number no matter what. You can post it and you will see the amount of engagement they get, and it speaks for itself. Twitter is more open about where the data comes from.
Cool. All right. I have. You're done, right, Ivan?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna have a question for you. So how do you think Twitter's censorship to some tweets affects you being affects someone being Twitter famous? Or I mean, there's been like a lot of like allegations, I guess, of Twitter like censoring some stuff and not censoring other stuff. Do you think that affects someone that's trying to be or is Twitter famous?
Twitter censorship of information is often the result of the credible information that is posted. Twitter is always going under flags for misconducted posts. So users posting inappropriate things. Since the platform was originally started on open speech and open thoughts all come together and needed engagement. Clearly, that's led to a downfall, and Twitter's recently picked up since early this year. They've been having a more type of life where they're trying to verify more users to make sure their posts are seen. And to recall what you had said, a Twitter famous person would struggle less to get their message out than a user in Instagram by the fact that Twitter is more open towards what they censor than Instagram. Instagram tends to put it more into your face and doesn't tell you ahead of time.
Cool. Awesome. Buncha, do you have any questions or anything you want to say to them?
No questions, to be honest. I just wanted to tell you guys that I think you guys did great for most of this debate. You guys had a good back and forth. There was definitely a couple problems between all of us. Between some of the not sticking to the prompt, and that you could put that on us too. This is our first time moderating.
Mm-hmm. We'll get better as we go.
Yeah, I mean that's the hope. But no, I think you guys did great. Yeah, that's it. To be honest,
That's it. Anything you guys want to say?
I think it was a good run, a good first run.
Good first
Yeah.
round.
So I think you guys should keep a tally. Don't tell us who won, right? Just keep a tally on who you think gave the better argument. Don't tell us. To anyone listening, if you can leave a comment to wherever you're listening at, if it's YouTube or Spotify or whatever, you can leave a comment telling us, or wherever. Just tell us who won, who you think had the stronger argument. But I had fun, Agustin. I don't know if you had fun. It wasn't too hostile, I guess, because we're not too passionate about the subject. So it was just a little test run to see how we would do. I feel like you did it well. You brought some points.
I'm
I don't know if you
fucking
want to
heated
say.
right now.
You know,
My hands are trembling with steam right now. They're about to engage in the most hateful
Trembling with
commentary.
steam.
how do you feel like it went?
I
Did you
genuinely
like it?
I generally enjoyed it. I do think we were both a little awkward, but that's just because it's not in our nature to debate as often. It's you don't get to do this every day. I mean, we do make random arguments sometimes just for the sake of the friendship, but in all honesty, it's pretty clean. Nothing gets dirty. The hands get washed off, and you're good to go. That's
You guys
part of,
want to? You guys
that's part of the
change
beauty.
anything? No, like yeah.
But
I guess if you guys see us going off track, you can just let us cut.
yeah. No,
Like,
I'll keep mind next time because I didn't want to interrupt, like because I was actually engaged in what you guys were saying. But definitely, I'll throw a flag into play or something.
okay. Yeah, so I felt like it went well for the first debate.
Yeah.
As time goes by, the topics are going to be a little bit harder, and maybe we're a little bit more passionate of the side we argue. But I feel like it was a good run.
Because we aren't told about the topics until the time of this recording, so we typically have to do our best to figure out what to say.
Yep, and you just have to try to argue it.
To be fair, it was a pretty good starter, but hopefully the next topics will be more intricate and more. Fuck, I forgot the fucking word.
Or heated. Hopefully, someone angry.
What's that word? Sophisticated. That's the word. That's the word I'm going to say. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to be more genuine. That's what the back end of the editors are telling me to say.
Mhm.
I'm not paying them enough to give me critique, but they are being genuine. So I'll raise their pay by 2 cents.
Damn.
You gotta pay. That's more than me.
Exponential.
All right. So,
Exponential.
do you want Panchana to discuss real quick, like for a minute, on what we thought, or
Yeah, or do you want us to keep like the score a secret and we work it out like
How about
unknown?
this? We'll tally. You guys tally the scores between yourselves, and then by the end of this whole series, you guys say the end.
Yeah, we also I think the moderator should come up with a punishment. Delucia should do a punishment.
Yeah.
That'd be we can film it and put it as the last video or something.
In
So
practical
if the
jokes,
moderators want to come up with yeah, or whatever, a challenge, maybe an Instagram post, a Twitter post, whatever,
yes,
or like DMing someone, you guys come up with it.
and
Moderator, so
I'll live stream
just
it
keep
on.
tally to then. Just so there's no like, so you can go like hard every argument, I guess.
And it will be shown.
You're gonna say
on, it will be shown on all platforms. So we will be showing the
yeah. So
punishment.
yeah. Yeah, so you can just go to our Twitter or Instagram, on YouTube. On YouTube, for sure, it's gonna be there. So,
Of course.
but that's gonna be at the end of the Vlogmas, basically.
All right, that was.
Any last words, fellas?
No, other than grabbing it.
All right, guys. Well, that's been a good recording. This has been the Border Talks podcast, and we all bid you farewell. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode. Catch you around.